Good afternoon. I'm Roy Massey with Motorola Solutions. And first of all, I want to thank each of you for being here and also thank the NG911 Institute for hosting the event. We want to share a few thoughts on Motorola's experience and plans for precise location. We're working with our partner Rapid SOS, who you just heard from, and we believe that precise caller location is a very important point in the history of public safety, and I want to demonstrate that through a story today. But before we jump into that, I just want to say, Motorola has deep roots in public safety going all the way back to 1930 when we put the car radios in the police departments around Illinois. So we've been doing this for quite a while now. Of course, since then we've done a lot of things in wireless communication breakthroughs, and most all of that has gone to the public safety customers. Today we are involved with enterprise software, so all the way from receiving the calls all the way out to the first responders with their radios. And the software in between those things that connects it today. We serve over 100,000 public safety and commercial customers worldwide in 100 countries. So I want to move ahead here and keep things rolling. Our story is going to start about a boy lost in the woods. My son is an Eagle Scout, and we're very proud of that, so yes, I've got to get my little brag in there. I am not an Eagle Scout, and I can assure you it's easy to get lost out in the woods when I've been out there with him. But I can laugh about it now. So what I wanted to talk about was a story along those lines about a boy who's lost in the woods, and we're going to keep the drama going. There's going to be a strong storm approaching. Now, this sort of thing happens frequently in a lot of customers' areas. It doesn't have to be the woods. It could be somewhere else that people can get lost, but we'll use this example to demonstrate some of the precise location benefits. I should say before we jump in that Motorola does have precise location deployed at about a half a dozen PSAPs or 911 centers in the country now in production, and some others are in pilot modes. So we have that going now in the 911 centers already and are seeing very good results like Rapid just outlined. So this boy is lost in the woods, and as you may have noticed from time to time, your cell coverage, sometimes when you can't place a voice call, you can send a text. And we're talking about NG911 broadly here as well. So this boy has been the beneficiary of a public service announcement from his local 911 center that when you can't call, text, like we saw a little while ago. So he remembers that, and fortunately for him, even though he can't place a voice call, he can send a text. Well, that's good enough because the precise location services can work either with voice calls or with text to 911 messages. So he texts, and the call recipient at the 911 center, or the text recipient, is able to text back with him on that channel and determines that he's not injured. He is just really lost out there. So one of the things that we want to talk about is it's going to be kind of a before and after comparison through these slides of Enhanced 911, or E911 as it's called, and what we have in mind for next generation 911, especially with precise location benefits. E911 has served the community well, but it's based on 1980s and 90s technology. And of course, as we all know, things have come a long way in just that time. There's a lot of things possible today that weren't possible then, and so NG911 wants to make the most of that and put it into public safety. Some of the things that you'd first encounter with E911 in this situation, if the boy could call and voice call in that case, you would have a very poor location accuracy. We've just been hearing from some of the other vendors. One of the things that happens also is people like to spoof their 911 center, unfortunately, and sometimes call in prank calls as if it's a real emergency and say they're somewhere they're really not. With precise location, again, that can be spotted very quickly. The difference would be that you, of course, could see approximately where in the woods he is, and your uncertainty would be measured in meters probably instead of in potentially miles. So we're looking here at a screenshot similar to what Reinhardt just showed for some of the other products using Rapid SOS. This is two circles here. One is the broader gold circle represents the uncertainty from the Enhanced 911 system with its wireless services based on the tower location. And then the smaller red circle is based on the precise location that Motorola is receiving from Rapid SOS. The green dot in the middle indicates the center point of the telco location, and then of course the red circle has its own center based on where it believes the caller is. The red line just connects the two in case you have multiple calls coming in like this. As was mentioned previously, we treat the precise location as supplemental today. We don't try to replace the official regulated location from the telco, but we do supplement it. The broadening out a little bit here, we'll take a broader look at precise location for 911, stepping away from our story for just a second. I won't read all these points off, but we covered some of them just a second ago, but it is very important, and the overall goal at this point in the 911 call is to get a dispatchable location. You know, they often don't ask what is your emergency, but where is your emergency? They're trying to get that, and we work closely with call takers, dispatcher, and hear the recordings as well, and it is surprising how much time has to be spent just trying to get a fix on the location. Many times a caller doesn't know where they are or can't tell you precisely where they are for some reason. So that's important, and then another variable in this is that the person could be moving. That throws another twist into it if the caller is moving or is on the move in some cases. So all of that complicates things, and precise location assists in all those ways. So we're going to jump back to the storyline here for a second. Now that we have the public safety 911 call taker knows where the boy is, that's fine, but that's just the beginning. What needs to happen now is a plan needs to be pulled together, and this is where precise location really starts to pay off in multiple times over. They will then send that call, if you will, or that emergency to someone in the field, first responder, who in this type of situation often is being used for field coordination. The person to first take the call would not necessarily run right out into the woods, but might have to think about what's the plan to get this boy out of the woods, depending on where he is and how precise the location is. In the old world, you know, an uncertainty factor on his location might mean a larger plan. And pulling that together or thinking about all that, and of course then if you have something complicating things like the storm coming in, you have to factor that in as a variable. But if we do know his location, we can jump straight from a larger strategy maybe to tactics. Let's try something quick and easy if we know where he is or think we know where he is. So in this case, the officer will, let's say, assign an officer that he can see is closer, and he sends that female officer, maybe if she's closer to where the boy is in the woods, he sees that on his dispatch screen, and we'll take a look at that. This is showing an officer in the car with a mobile dispatch terminal. And so since the location came in more accurately to begin with, the next downstream stage, the dispatch stage, is seen out on the mobile devices. He can see where the boy is, and he also can see with Motorola's radios the GPS locations of the other officers in the vicinity and see which one is closest. This really starts to save time because simply create the plan and send the officer that is nearest to the boy. So we're moving along here down through our flow, but now things are going to take a twist. The storm is indeed coming in. The boy moves position. Now the plan has already been launched, and yet the boy is moving around. Well, in the old world, or the enhanced 911 world, we'd still get a rather inaccurate location. It might help show that he's moving, but it's still going to be probably too inaccurate to really help. We could define a search grid, and very often what they'll do in these situations is end up recruiting volunteers who've been trained to do a wide area search. They may be able to do it in a storm. They may not. Those are all the sort of factors that go into it under the E911 scenario. But now precise location is going to make a big difference again, because the Astral radios from Motorola, for example, can take and also use the precise location services just like the 911 center did. And the radio itself has the ability to ask not only, you know, where's the boy currently, or where is that caller currently, but the service will also help the radio create a bearing. So you can see there in the bottom corner that 4634 meters north. That's, again, from the Rapid SOS. We did a pilot with them in New York City, is where this actual screenshot is from. And our radios are able to create a bearing. So now, as that search and rescue responder, I go in and I start asking of sending a repeat or a ping back to the precise location service, and my radio is walking me in, essentially move north some number of meters, and you're getting closer and closer and closer where the boy is. So these are all things that can be combined to help get the victim out of that situation, even in bad conditions. So we wrap up. Of course, the boy is returned safely home. We were able to find him straight away, and in the current world of technology, we can even take a photo of him and attach it to the incident record. And you can see there's a litany of things. I won't read them all off, but if you'd like, please come by the booth, and we'll talk about all these different differences in E91 and NG911. But the point here really is that having our hands on this main variable of the entire incident, that is, where is the victim? Where are they? And if that's changing in particular, where are they? That has become kind of a lever point, if you will, to transform the whole process. So one of the things that happens when we look at funding for Next Generation 911 is helping to not only buy the technology and get it in place, but also train all of the emergency responders, starting with the 911 center all the way out to the police and fire, whose process will be greatly improved, but they need to know how to use this technology and create operational plans around its use. So all of that goes into helping transform the process overall. So quick summary here. It's precise location of the victim for Next Generation 911, if you consider precise location part of that, broad umbrella of Next Generation 911. And it's based on their smartphone location. The smartphone has a lot of smarts in it, as we've been hearing about, to help that. It also improves emergency response at every step of the process because so much of it is based on where the victim is located. And then finally, the funding does help us transform the processes for the 21st century. You know, the Uber and the pizza places all have the benefit of taking advantage of precise location, and we want to make sure that that flows out for transformation of the whole process. So I appreciate your time, and hope you'll come by and see us at the booth, and we can talk about it a bit more. I don't know if I've got a little time left for Q&A or not. None at all, okay. One? He says one. Going once, going twice. All right, please come by the booth and see me.